Did you ever know anyone who talks like this? They're all against me. They hate me. They're trying to get rid of me. Now, you're dealing with a case of paranoia, delusions of persecution, and the mental hospitals are clogged with these people. And yet every one of you here this evening is just a little bit paranoid, just a wee bit. Ask any man here about his mother-in-law. Here's what I mean by paranoia. A lady went to the racetrack. While she was waiting for the race to begin, she tapped a fellow on the shoulder. She said, "Could you lend me a safety pin, please?" "I'm sorry, I don't have one." "Have you a safety pin, please?" "No, I'm sorry." Suddenly, over the loudspeaker, she heard, "They're off!" And she fainted. Don't explain it to him. It won't help at all. Now, I know that all of you have had physical examinations. Some of you may take one regularly each year on your birthday. I wonder if you've ever had a mental examination. Because if you haven't, ladies and gentlemen, with my compliments right now, here is a completely free psychiatric examination. I'm about to ask you 10 tiny questions, the answers to which will show how well-adjusted you are. They will show whether or not you know how to live with yourself. Not how to live by yourself, but something much more important, how to live with yourself. For unless you know how to live with yourself, forget it. No one else will ever be able to live with you. By the way, these 10 points are the soundest principles of mental hygiene I know. If you will use them as you leave tonight, I'll make you an ironclad guarantee. You will never have a nervous breakdown. Never. Ready? Let's go. 1. The very first thing a doctor does when he comes to see a patient is to take his temperature. He knows the higher the thermometer, the higher the disease process. Well, the psychiatrist has a thermometer too. It isn't made of glass. It comes in the form of a little question. And any time that you wish to take someone's personality temperature quickly, ask them this question. Say, "Tell me, are you happy?" If they say happy, "I'm miserable, miserable," then you will have the first and the most important symptom of poor adjustment. Now, what is happiness? What store do you go to and say, "Wrap me up $10 worth of happiness. Throw in an extra quart for next month"? Happiness is a byproduct. It is a result of effective life adjustments. Where do you buy goodwill in a business? It's a byproduct. Happiness isn't a station you arrive at. It's a manner of traveling. Some people think they'll find it through love, through children, through marriage. I'm thinking of 2 men who should have been at work at the bank. They decided to go golfing at the country club on a lovely sunny day. They were about to tee off, and they noticed 2 ladies ahead of them. One said, "Joe, run up and ask those 2 ladies if they'd let us tee off first so we can get back to the bank." And Joe said, "Okay." He went over to the 2 ladies, and he came back. He said, "Bill, I'm so sorry. I can't ask them because this is the most embarrassing situation." He said, "Why?" He said, "One of them happens to be my wife, and the other one is the woman I'm having a love affair with." He says, "Joe, don't say another word. I understand completely. I'll ask them." And he went over to the 2 ladies, and when he came back, he smiled, and he said, "You know, Joe, it's a small world." Two, do you have zest for living? At any age, are you interested in love, play, learning more? Or you say, "Pish posh, I know everything. I'll sit home and watch television." You'll get to be as smart as Howdy Doody. I can show you people at 80 and 90 years of age who grow younger every day. And I can show you some at 18 and 19 who age every minute. I never will forget one man. As he left my office, he turned to me, he said, "Oh, I wish I had gone to college." I said, "Why don't you go?" He said, "I'm 35 years old. I'm married. It'll take me 10 years to go to college at night." I said, "Tell me, how old will you be in 10 years if you go?" He said, "I'll be 45. And I said, "And how old will you be in 10 years if you don't go?" He said, 45. How come the same? Next time you want to do something, you say, "Oh, I'm too old. It takes too long." Ask yourself, how old will I be if I don't do it? And if you get a younger answer, please phone me immediately. I never talk about age, that I don't think at once of one of the most respected members of a small New Jersey community. It happens to be a 92-year-old rabbi. When that rabbi walks down the street, people bow low to him. He hasn't missed one meeting of the local Rotary Club in over 50 years. Now what do you think of that for an attendance record? Until one day the rabbi just disappeared into thin air. Everybody said, "Whatever happened to the rabbi?" Heaven only knows. A month later, at a Rotary luncheon, the rabbi calmly walked in and took his usual place. The president hit the gong, stopped the meeting, said, "Rabbi, for heaven's sakes, where have you been all month?" The rabbi said, "What a crazy world. What a crazy world." He said, "A whole month I'm sitting in jail." He says, "In jail? You in jail? You don't harm anyone. What happened?" He said, "I decided to go to New York. I went to Radio City. Just as I bought my ticket and was going in the door, a beautiful girl comes up to me with a policeman. She points at me and says, 'He did it.' He said, 'Tell you the truth, I was so proud I pleaded guilty.'"